So they'll be calling you radicals. Things are breaking so fast right now. Everything that Kevin Blanch said 8 years ago is coming freaking to fruition in a big way. So I got a whistleblower just called me from Oregon on the test net on Washington, on the test nets. So the Chinook collapsed. They're in panic mode, freak mode. They had emergency meetings yesterday. They don't know what to do, how to cover it up anymore. He says, so they're still test netting, which, by the way, the fraud of test nesting. These guys test net, they sell what they catch. This catastrophe, the denial, this perpetual fucking eco chain collapse from hell, Fukushima. Now, from what I understand, it hasn't been said to me that Noah's used the Fukushima word for the first time in history. It's almost 3,000 days, these derelict fuckers. When I'm walking, I talk to Noah. What about Fukushima? Not our job. Really, the National Ocean Atmospheric Association, that's not your fucking job. What is your fucking job? So I just came from another funeral. So let's get to the testnet data. This is breaking. This is big stuff. So he said the test nets have collapsed. They've collapsed, so which forecast forward, they can't do the work Kevin Blanch. Now remember, this is the Chinook salmon, what orcas eat. Now they're verifying that the orcas, southern pot orcas, are in Monterey Bay eating the gray pups, which Kevin Blanch told you that years ago. And the Monterey Aquarium, the fucking Cal Davis Aquarium, the fucking San Diego shit, everybody fought with me, told me I was crazy, told me blah, blah, blah. Has fucking, they verified, these are fucking southern pot orcas, which is unheard of. The Welpa killing gray pups. The gray pups are being born in Monterey, which I told you that fucking in 2015. Everybody said I was crazy. So now he's coming out and saying the test net is a collapse, and he said that Oregon just put out a number. Well, they're talking inside. They're thinking that the projection on the fucking spring number could be as low as 12,700. How catastrophic? That's the entire Columbia River. 2.5 mile long, all these Chinook salmon, the biggest in the world, fucking drainage, fucking returning Chinook salmon. They had 1.4 million returning in 2015. The spring projection, can you imagine? Where's Greenpeace? Where's Sierra Club? Friends, they're protecting the fucking nuclear industry because they're turning into nothing but panty painters, greenwashers, fucking well peddlers. It's disturbing as hell. Kevin Blanch, I hypothesized every single word of this to a fine fucking science, to a fine T, and I remember telling people in 2016, oh, record returns, you're full of it, blah, blah, blah. I said, when they started to collapse in 2016 on Q, will you believe me then? Yeah. Just like I said, collapsed on Q. Do they believe me? So I was just talking to the Lindquist director I grew up with at the mortuary. He's a genius, brilliant, and I brought up the whole fucking doesn't have to list obituary in the paper anymore. And by the way, I want to say this to Letitia Lindquist, who was the youngest of the billionaires, who did the Midtown Clinic. I posted the picture of, she was a gem, by the way. She was fantastic. She was actually nice to me. Most of these oligarchs who have made their money, you know, the Wattises and whatnot, they hate me. She got colon cancer about the same time I did. Well, after I didn't, it killed her so quick. She did so much, only the good, I mean, it's sad. So I talked to him and I'm like, this is so outrageous. They don't even list the cause, don't even list obituaries now. They quit listing cause of death, and you know what he told me? I said, we've lost total control on death, environmental poisoning rates. We've lost all of it because these degenerates are willing to put it in the obituary, died of natural causes at 50 years old. They're willing to give their life at 50. Now, this is Mrs. Humphrey. She died, Mary, she was a gem. She died of dementia. She was fantastic. What a mind. Oh, that's what, just like my mom. Wait. He's like, Kevin, they pulled that off 10 years ago, 15 years ago. He says, even as, he's a coroner. This is the guy at coroner. This is the guy that fills out the death certificate. He says, they pulled that off a long time, the corruption. We lost track of what's killing people and what's a long time ago. This is coming from the lead mortician in this town, who's a genius, who's been at this for decades. The guy who signs the death certificate by law used to have to be in. So This salmon collapse is epic. I mean, you go, if this is true, what did I say earlier this morning? I says it's half over 6,700. I mean, how deadly have I been? How accurate, you know, because I'm a real marine biologist. I'm a real fucking scientist. I'm a real PhD. I do the fucking work. First you hypothesize the knowledge. I stood right here, and hypothesized all this knowledge. They're gonna lie, they're gonna cover this up, and if you believe these fuckers, that this is a hydrogen blast, Arnie Gundershield, Helen Keller got a 4 bones out, I'm moving, fucking Chris fucking Pennywise, fucking greenwashing, fucking Sierra Club, fucking nothing to see here, these fuckers. Go give them a check, by the way. Think about what I've done. I need fucking funding. I've got to get back on the road and do my fucking... I don't know how I've survived. How the fuck have I done that? Why full of cancer? Sit right here. They're going to lie, they're going to lie, they're going to lie. It's fucking... They're going to push this into the Pacific Ocean. They're going to genocide the Pacific Ocean. It's going to break the fucking eco chain. Fuck, it's going to break the luminescence. And this fucking epic catastrophe is going to perpetuate around the fucking globe world. It's going to be the greatest ecological... And if you believe them, what they're telling you, the American media, Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. George H. Bush won the 2000 election. The Supreme Court's legitimate. Fucking Pat Tillman fought off 9 million Al-Qaeda. Fucking went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get a big old sack. Went off to Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. How nice they invented fucking ISIS, the military industrialized complex, the debtor's hell, the Ponzi scheme. That was Kevin Blanche in March fucking 12th of 2011. 13, 14, every day since. You won't believe me. I did all the work. I hypothesized. Then you do the field work. I walked the entire coast of California with a gun. Why after? It's going to give you leukemia. It's going to. I got leukemia in 2011. Went to the bone marrow transplant on 11/11/11, given fucking no chance. Given no chance. I've done all this historic work. Why fucking fighting for my life? Open heart surgery. You think about my diving through the tide pool photo and nobody believed me. You know, sleeping in a sleep bag, everybody laughed at me, spit at me. I got guns in my face twice. They hired fucking my own government, the Department of Energy, was traced down, have hired PR troll firms to go after me. To physically. Mike Lee kicked me out Medicaid while I was in critical fucking condition dying. While I do the good work. Why they just mooch. Now you think about this story. It's beyond incredible. It's about, this is my funeral hat, my funeral jacket from Vienna. The Austrians, they get this. They get this. They know. Think about the IAEA's headquarters there. They're the most hardcore, fierce, Freedom Eisenblau, the greatest maybe the greatest anti-nuclear in fucking human history. Where do you think I got this? Kevin Blanche, you are the tip of the spear. She was dying of cancer, holy Moses, at 88. I was at her house in Vienna on the 200th anniversary of Waterloo. Wow, what a story. What a beautiful day here. What a beautiful fucking day. Look what they've done to us. You're willing to... Death for dogma. You're willing to go down. I died. Nobody's business what I died from. Me. The fuck, it's everybody's business what you fucking died from, you fucking arrogant fools. Sad as fucking hell. So you get this nowhere, the test netters, I mean, this is all inside stuff. I've got insiders inside. These are people that work in these places that can't go. They'll tell you, we have nowhere to go. The whistleblowers, they come to me. You get this, I mean, all this stuff you get nowhere, because I've developed a team of, you know, my army, my post-ignorance army out there. That's what great journalism does. I become the journalist. These black and yellow media whores. I become the journalist. I become the environmental. Well, I was always the environmentalist. I become the great scientist. I mean, you think about the hats that I fucking wear. Holy fuck. Wow. You think about the body of work. Of course, despite that I was ever born to set this fucking right. For Cassandra and Hamlet, they got together and had a baby. Fucking Einstein's intuitive mind. How about fucking Metalbron? How about Blanche? For the light. I call it the light, by the way. You want to talk quantum physics? I'll get into it. But I call it the light. It's like, I mean, from the time I was a child. Because my father was human lab rat on the Nevada test site. My atomic, nuclear, fucking mutated fucking brain. Oh, the light's in me. The natives used to always call them touched. I got touched at a very well, on the Nevada test site before I was conceived. That's on the beach at San Onofre. What a fucking epic acute collapse. I hope somebody can find this on NOAA. And they really have the balls to say a word about Fukushima 3,000 days later? The fucking, I said it for years. I wouldn't be one of the people, one of the panty painters that gone along with this. Everybody, the perpetual lie. I wouldn't want to be one when the truth comes out. Pacific Ocean dies, stock market makes all kinds of fucking lies. Debtors fucking hell. Tax the future, give to my friends, poison the fucking planet. It's my pseudo-factor theology. It's my pseudo-factor sociology. It's my made-up fairy tale fucking losing my religion, fucking American manufactured fucking Jesus. I'm going to see fucking Jesus with my AK. Fucking nobody's business how I died when it's everybody's business how you fucking died. Selfish, arrogant fuckers. Me. Proud of their ignorance and fucking proud of their arrogant ignorance. Sick fuckers. Post-ignorance someday, not today. It's the ecology, stupid. This is the greatest story in human history, bar none. The greatest cover-up? They only covered it up for 7-8 years. The panty painters are coming off. The greenwashers, the well-fucking-petters, the tourism economyers, the black and yellow journalists, everybody, I'm going to get on the winning, I'm going to be the next Cinderella, I'm going to be the next fucking King James, I'm going to be the next CEO, I'm going to be the next Bill Gates' fucking partner, fucking go along, I'm an oceanographer, fucking Paul Allen, go fucking team. By the way, Damien went off, that's who used to own the Trailblazers. Damien from here, he, me. Turn your back on me. Go ahead. Turn your fucking back on me because the light is shines inside of me. I have a tale to tell. You hit it so fucking well, but you fucking underestimated one fucking person, Kevin Blanche, for the light is shines inside of me. You will never take that from fucking me. Thus I live. The fight goes on. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. From fucking 1.4 million to a possibility of fucking a few thousand. These are Chinook salmon go to sea for 5 years. Record return first batch back. I had the projections to the number, to a T. Wow. It's a smoking gun. And you deny me? You deny me? The body of work that I've done is fucking. I have annihilated all of Greenpeace, Sierra Club, Friends of the Earth. They're billion-trillion-dollar organizations. One guy with a GoFundMe page with $65,000, $67,000, $68,000 in 6 years. Do the fucking math. Oh, thank you to everybody who has fucking supported the story work. Thank you, Patrick, who always donates some money every fucking month. You know, Michelle, fucking Lisa, you know, Lewis, all these people. Thank you to every single person who's fucking supported the historic work. You know, but this fight ain't over. Don't quit me now. Don't quit me now. Let's keep this going, you know. What can we do about it? We can call these rats out in fucking history and fucking let be done to these fucking historic cover-up fucking rats what needs to be done. Remember, they work for us. The NRC, NOAA, the fucking IEA, we pay their fucking bills. They have an obligation. University academia professors, marine biologists, they have a fucking, they're paid by us, the taxpayer, to protect us, not to work for the international. The betrayal is epic. The mega dairy corporate fucking welfare. Mike Lee works for me. He tries to attack me. He supports them, not me. I'm not a public servant. I don't make a living off other people's taxes. They do. They were paid to protect us. They betrayed us. I don't fucking forgive. I don't fucking forget. And that V is not for victory. That V is for fucking vendetta. Oh, fuck yeah. They got to pay. And they're going to fucking pay. Called a black hole to fucking hell. They need to be branded in history. That's what I've done. What a beautiful day. Fucking the light is shined inside of me. You will never take that from me.